Confidence is the foundation upon which greatness is built. It is the silent force that speaks before you ever open your mouth. When a man walks into a room with confidence, he doesn't need to announce his presence. The air shifts, the energy changes, and people take notice. But there's a fine line between confidence and cockiness, and the distinction makes all the difference. Confidence is rooted in self-awareness. It's knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, and understanding your worth without needing to prove it to anyone. A confident man stands tall not because he's better than anyone else, but because he refuses to shrink himself for anyone's approval. He doesn't walk into a room seeking validation because he already validates himself. He doesn't need to be the loudest voice in the room because his presence speaks volumes on its own. Cockiness, on the other hand, is insecurity dressed up in arrogance. It's loud, boastful, and constantly reaching for attention. A cocky man will talk about himself endlessly, name drop, and exaggerate his achievements because deep down he's still trying to convince himself that he is enough. But confidence doesn't have to convince, it simply exists. A truly confident man understands that strength is not in domination but in self-control. He doesn't tear others down to build himself up. Instead, he uplifts, encourages, and walks with a quiet assurance that draws people in. He can celebrate others without feeling threatened. He can handle rejection without breaking. He can lead without needing to control. Confidence is also about action. A confident man moves with purpose. He doesn't hesitate when it comes to his goals, his values, or his principles. He doesn't wait for permission to be great. He steps boldly into the life he envisions for himself. He understands that failure is a part of growth, so he doesn't let mistakes define him. Instead, he learns, adapts, and keeps moving forward. And let's talk about how confidence feels. Confidence is calm, it's steady, it's the ability to be at peace in your own skin, whether you're in a crowded room or standing alone. It's the way you shake hands, look people in the eye, and speak with clarity and purpose. It's the way you handle pressure, the way you treat others, and the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. People are drawn to confidence because it signals security. When you are confident, others feel safe around you. They trust your decisions, respect your presence, and are naturally pulled into your orbit. But make no mistake, confidence isn't something you are born with. It's built, it's forged through trials, through setbacks, through the moments when you had to stand alone. It's built in the quiet hours when you choose discipline over distraction, self-respect over self-doubt. And when you have it, truly have it, the world can't help but take notice. A man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly, tossed by the waves of circumstance, and pulled in every direction except forward. But a man with purpose? He moves differently. He walks with intention, speaks with conviction, and acts with clarity. His life is not a series of random events, but a carefully constructed path toward something greater than himself. A purpose-driven man is attractive not just because of what he does, but because of who he becomes in the pursuit of his vision. Purpose gives a man an undeniable sense of direction. He does not wake up each day wondering what to do or waiting for opportunities to come knocking. Instead, he builds, creates, and pursues. His time is valuable and he spends it wisely. Whether he's working toward his career goals, developing a skill, or impacting his community, every step he takes is aligned with a bigger picture. This kind of clarity is magnetic because people are drawn to certainty. A man who knows where he is going naturally attracts others who want to walk alongside him. A purpose-driven man does not need to seek approval or chase after fleeting pleasures to feel fulfilled. He doesn't waste energy comparing himself to others or trying to impress the crowd. He understands that his race is his own and that true success is measured by progress, not by applause. His focus is unwavering, his discipline unmatched, and his drive unstoppable. This kind of dedication sets him apart, making him stand out in any room, in any crowd, in any season of life. But let's be clear, purpose is not just about career or financial success. It's deeper than that. It's about living a life that means something. A man of purpose knows his why, and that why fuels his actions every single day. He may be building a business, leading a movement, raising a family, or mentoring the next generation, but whatever he is doing it with passion and intent. He is not just existing, he is creating impact, and that impact is what makes him unforgettable. Challenges do not intimidate a man with purpose. He understands that setbacks are not roadblocks but stepping stones. He does not crumble under pressure or run from responsibility. When life gets tough, he doesn't complain. He adapts, strategizes, and continues forward. This resilience is what separates him from the average man. His ability to push through obstacles, to remain steady in the face of adversity, makes him a leader, a warrior, a force to be reckoned with. There's an undeniable energy that surrounds a man with purpose. He doesn't just talk about what he wants to do, he does it. His passion is evident in his actions, in the way he carries himself, in the way he inspires others to rise to a higher standard. People can feel his determination, they can sense his commitment, and that kind of presence, that is what makes him truly attractive. Emotional strength and resilience are what separate men who merely exist from those who thrive. Life is unpredictable, full of trials, disappointments, and unexpected challenges, but a man who possesses emotional strength does not break under pressure, he bends, adapts, and stands firm. His resilience is not just about enduring hardship, but about emerging from it wiser, stronger, and more determined than before. This kind of strength is rare, and when people see it, they are drawn to it. A truly attractive man is not one who avoids pain, but one who knows how to handle it. He understands that emotions are not weaknesses, but tools for growth. He doesn't suppress his feelings out of fear or pride, nor does he let them control him. Instead, he masters them. He can experience disappointment without losing hope, face failure without losing confidence, and handle rejection without losing self-worth. This ability to remain steady in the face of adversity is a sign of true power. There is something deeply magnetic about a man who can weather the storm without losing himself. He does not lash out when things don't go his way. He does not crumble under criticism or seek validation to feel secure. He knows that his value does not come from circumstances, approval, or the opinions of others. It comes from within. This internal stability creates an aura of confidence that is undeniable. People trust a man who does not let emotions dictate his actions because it shows he can be relied upon when it matters most. But let's be clear, being emotionally strong does not mean being emotionless. It does not mean burying feelings or pretending that struggles don't exist. It means processing emotions in a healthy way, learning from them, and using them as fuel for growth. A man who has mastered his emotions does not fear vulnerability, he embraces it with wisdom. He knows when to be open and when to be guarded. He understands that true strength is not found in pretending to be unbreakable, but in the ability to heal, rebuild, and rise again. Resilience is built through experience. It comes from facing difficulty head on and refusing to be defeated. A man who has been tested by life and has overcome hardship walks with a different kind of presence. There is wisdom in his words, steadiness in his actions, and a quiet power in the way he carries himself. He has seen the depths of struggle, but has not allowed struggle to define him. Instead, he has used it to refine him. Women and people in general are drawn to a man who exudes this kind of strength. He is a rock in a world full of instability. He is dependable, secure, and unwavering. In a world where so many fold under pressure, he stands tall, and that kind of resilience, that ability to remain unshaken when life gets hard, is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess. Authenticity and charisma are a powerful combination that set a man apart from the rest. In a world full of pretense, where so many wear masks to fit in, a man who is unapologetically himself stands out. He doesn't try to imitate others, doesn't chase trends, and doesn't mold himself to what society expects. He simply exists as he is, fully and confidently, and that kind of raw, unfiltered presence is magnetic. Authenticity is about knowing who you are and having the courage to show it. It means being honest about your strengths and weaknesses, embracing your quirks, and standing firm in your values. A man who is authentic doesn't need to impress anyone. His confidence comes from self-acceptance. He doesn't lie to make himself look better, doesn't exaggerate to gain approval, and doesn't conform to what's popular just to be liked. People respect a man who is real because in a world full of fakeness, honesty is refreshing. Charisma, on the other hand, is the natural energy that comes from being comfortable in your own skin. It's the way you make people feel when they're around you. Charismatic men have a presence that is undeniable, not because they are trying too hard, but because they exude a sense of ease and warmth. They are engaging, confident, and have an effortless charm that makes them enjoyable to be around. They know how to hold a conversation, how to listen intently, and how to make people feel seen and valued. A man with authenticity and charisma doesn't seek attention, he commands it without even trying. His presence is felt when he enters a room not because he is loud or boastful, but because he carries an energy that draws people in. He speaks with conviction, moves with purpose, and engages with others in a way that feels genuine. And his words are not empty, his compliments are not forced, and his actions align with his character. This kind of consistency makes people trust him, admire him, and want to be around him. But authenticity and charisma are not just about how you interact with others, they are also about how you carry yourself when no one is watching. A truly authentic man lives by his principles even when there is no audience. He is the same person in private as he is in public. He doesn't change who he is depending on who he's with because his identity is not based on external approval. This consistency is rare, and that rarity makes him stand out. Charisma is not about being the funniest or the most talkative person in the room. It's about having a presence that is both confident and inviting. It's about being a man of substance, someone who can inspire, uplift, and connect with others in a meaningful way. When authenticity and charisma come together, they create a man who is not just noticed, but remembered. And in a world where so many try to fit in, the man who dares to be himself is the one who truly shines. Respect and leadership are two qualities that define a truly attractive man. They are not just about how a man is perceived by others, but about how he carries himself and the impact he has on those around him. A man who embodies both earns admiration effortlessly, not because he demands it, but because he lives in a way that commands it. Respect is not something that can be forced, it is given willingly to those who show they are worthy of it. A man who respects himself first is naturally respected by others. He sets boundaries, holds himself to high standards, and refuses to compromise his integrity. He does not allow disrespect, not because he is aggressive, but because he knows his value. When a man respects himself, it is reflected in his actions, his speech, and his decisions. He does not seek approval from others because he already approves of himself. But respect is not just about how a man carries himself, it is also about how he treats others. A truly attractive man treats people with kindness, fairness, and dignity, regardless of their status. He does not belittle, manipulate, or take advantage of others to elevate himself. Instead, he uplifts, encourages, and creates an atmosphere of mutual respect. He listens as much as he speaks, values the opinions of others, and leads by example. This kind of character is rare, and people recognize it immediately. Leadership is the natural extension of respect. A man who is respected is often followed, not because he seeks followers, but because his life inspires them. Leadership is not about control, it is about influence. A great leader does not dictate or demand, he guides, supports, and empowers. He takes responsibility for his actions, admits when he is wrong, and learns from his mistakes. He is not afraid of challenges, nor does he shy away from making difficult decisions. His confidence, vision, and ability to remain steady under pressure make people trust him and look to him for guidance. A true leader does not need to be in a position of power to lead. He leads by the way he handles adversity, by the way he treats people, and by the way he stays true to his principles. Whether in his career, his relationships, or his community, he is someone who brings out the best in others. He knows that leadership is not about standing above people, but about walking beside them, showing them what is possible through his own example. People gravitate toward a man who exudes both respect and leadership. He is the one others look to in times of uncertainty. He is the one who remains calm under pressure, who speaks with wisdom, and who takes action when it matters most. His presence alone is reassuring because people know they can rely on him, and in a world where many shrink from responsibility, the man who steps up leads with integrity, and respects himself and others is truly one of a kind. A man's physical presence is not just about genetics or luck, it's about how he carries himself, how he takes care of himself, and the energy he exudes. People often underestimate the power of presence, but it speaks before words ever do. The way a man walks into a room, the way he stands, the way he looks others in the eye, these things communicate confidence, discipline, and self-respect. A man who prioritizes his physical presence and self-care doesn't just look good, he commands attention without even trying. Taking care of oneself is a reflection of self-respect. When a man invests in his health, his fitness, and his grooming, he is saying to the world, I value myself. It's not about vanity, it's about discipline. A strong, well-maintained body tells a story of commitment, effort, and perseverance. It's about putting in the work at the gym, staying active, and fueling the body with the right nutrition. A man who takes care of himself radiates vitality, and people are naturally drawn to that. But physical presence is about more than just fitness. It's about posture, eye contact, and the way a man moves. A man who stands tall, shoulders back, and head high exudes quiet confidence. He doesn't slouch, doesn't fidget, and doesn't shrink himself in social settings. His movements are purposeful, his handshake is firm, and his energy is composed. This kind of presence makes people take him seriously. It shows that he is comfortable in his own skin, and that kind of comfort is contagious. Self-care extends beyond just the physical. It's about grooming, dressing well, and paying attention to the details. A well-groomed man doesn't need expensive clothes to look good. He understands that cleanliness, a fresh haircut, and well-fitted clothes make all the difference. He doesn't neglect the small things like trimmed nails, fresh breath, or taking care of his skin. These habits may seem minor, but they contribute to an overall aura of refinement and self-respect. When a man puts effort into his appearance, it shows that he values himself enough to present the best version of himself to the world. But perhaps the most important aspect of physical presence is the energy a man carries. A man who is physically strong but carries a negative, insecure, or overly aggressive energy is not attractive. True presence comes from a balance of strength and calmness, of confidence and humility. It's about being comfortable in silence, making others feel at ease, and holding space without needing to dominate it. A man who takes care of himself, walks with purpose, and maintains a composed yet confident demeanor is impossible to ignore. He doesn't need to boast or seek validation, his presence speaks for itself. And in a world where many men neglect the basics of self-care and presence, the one who does stands out effortlessly. His physical presence is not just seen, it is felt, and that feeling leaves a lasting impression. A truly attractive man is not defined by luck, wealth, or superficial charm. He is shaped by his confidence, purpose, emotional strength, authenticity, respect, leadership, and the way he carries himself. He does not chase validation because he already knows his worth. He does not seek to impress, but instead lives in a way that naturally commands admiration. His confidence is steady, his purpose is clear, his resilience is unshakable, and his authenticity makes him unforgettable. And authenticity makes him, he respects himself and others, leads by example, and understands that true power is found in discipline, self-care, and the quiet strength of character. His presence is not just seen, it is felt. People trust him, admire him, and are drawn to him not because of what he has, but because of who he is. If you see these qualities in yourself, embrace them. If you are working toward them, keep building. Because the man who embodies these traits is not just attractive, he is exceptional. And in a world where so many follow, he is the one who leads.